I'm not gonna say that I don't have body issues, I totally do. Most people look at me and they automatically go, you look great, you look just like a model, but I see all the imperfections because it's been constantly pointed out to me since I was a child. 14 years old when I was in Japan, I was measured every 3 days. Every 3 days I would be measured and they're like, oh, you need to lose centimeters. I literally they're ruthless in Asia, so yeah, they definitely want your measurements to be a certain way. I didn't have it as hard as some of the other girls had it. Some girls come there from Russia or middle, like Eastern European, girls that's like very in for fashion right now, and they're very young. They don't speak English. They're 13, 14, 15 years old. They've never been outside of their countries. And they are, if they're not working, they're constantly being told that it's because they're fat, and they're not. They're not at all. Or, it can constantly be something, and then they get these complexes about themselves. I see it so much. And not everybody is as strong as somebody else. I can deal with it for some reason. Not saying that, I definitely I'm like, oh, I wish my hips were just 2 inches smaller. I do. Like, if my hips were 2 inches smaller, I'd probably be doing, Fashion Week all the time. But because I'm not that perfect size, measurements are a little, different. I can't do everything. I can't be a fit model because a fit model has perfect 34-inch hips and mine are 36. So it's different. But I chalk it up to just being like, I'm a human being. Nobody's perfect, and I made a very great career for myself. I'm happy with it. But other girls, there have been models that have actually died by starving themselves with anorexia. This happens all the time in this industry. It's absolutely horrible. And once again, that responsibility lies with the industry. I think the industry itself needs to change. Instead of trying to change the women who are a part of the industry. A lot is changing now. After these two young girls actually suffered from anorexia and they died. I believe they were sisters or something like that. Well, it was in Europe somewhere, and there was this big backlash, in the fashion industry, and some big designers actually put plus size models on the runway for the first time. Now there's plus size divisions for women, and it's still hard to break away from that whole taboo. What the industry considers plus size is not really plus size in the real world. I would just say to any young girl that has a great look, but maybe the measurements aren't that great, just persevere, because there is something for everybody usually, especially if you've got something, special about you, and maybe your hips aren't perfect or your waist isn't perfect or your shoe size isn't perfect, but there's something about you, you can still work with that. People will still work with you on that. And just remember, all you need is one good picture of any look, just one. I definitely feel like my look is unique. I don't look like everybody else, whereas opposed to, what's happening in the agencies a lot is everybody's 16 years old, they're all 5'11" to 6 feet tall, and they all look like, clones of each other. They all kind of look the same. And that's good, if you want to definitely work a lot and everything, but to be unique, it's I don't know, it's kind of different. So the responsibility lies with the agent or the people who are taking this young girl out of her, comfort zone and out of her hometown and away from her friends and family into this industry that, if I were an agent, that's my main thing, is I would be educating these young girls on what they need to do. My whole career was spent going to these amazing places and doing it, and then just falling back. I'd never had really good management. I never had really good representation. And I feel like I really, really needed that when I was young because I didn't know.